Here we are then for round number 2 at Redlodge, 25th of April in the fine spring summer weather, and our venue for this round is the brilliant Redlodge Circuit. We are just over the Cambridgeshire Suffolk border, not too far from Mildenhall and the famous American Air Base. 1200 metre circuit, 11 turns, quite a technical track and very flat as well, not much elevation, so it's flat and very twisty in places. We have some perfect spring weather here, sunny forecast throughout the day, no rain forecast in the meteorological forecast, about 14 degrees and a light breeze. You would say this is pretty much perfect conditions for racing. Mini GP and Junior Supermoto, 190s and the 50s lining up. Two race classes racing amongst each other, scored separately, and they'll be out on the grid in just a few moments. We'll have a look at how they line up very shortly. Our fourth race of the day here at Redlodge, this second round of the Rich Energy British Mini Bikes Championship. Great weather and great conditions today here at Redlodge. The track looking in perfect condition. We'll have a look at the track in a bit more detail later on, of course, but as you may have seen already, of course, this is one of the more technical tracks on the British Mini Bikes calendar. This first part of the lap incredibly tight and technical. Then we've got the straight run and the Simpson straight for the second half of the lap. As we've seen though, plenty of overtaking opportunities out there. As is typical with a more technical track, the exit speed of the corners can be very important indeed. Not necessarily a power circuit in places, so it's all about line choice and getting the correct exit from the corner as the riders make their way out of the waiting zone to start their sighting lap. They'll be back on the grid very shortly. So riders through, we've got the Vets race with Motor Oils coming up in a few moments as well, one of the newer classes for 2020. The Vets class always very popular. They're coming up in a few moments, but we look at the youth riders firstly as they make their way through on the sighting lap. And as we said at the start of the program, the track conditions, you would say, pretty much perfect. It's about 12 degrees out there, not much of a breeze, plenty of opportunity to get the tyre temperatures up as well. But crucially, of course, in the forecast, pretty much zero chance of rain. Let's hope that forecast is true at the moment, because the track is looking in great condition ahead of this first race. As we say, of course, the first round of the championship at Teesside was cancelled effectively and run as part of the winter series. So this is the first round, round number 2, of course, in the calendar of the Rich Energy British Mini Bikes Championship. My name's Chris Sora, taking you through all the action this afternoon. And if you're watching throughout the day, of course, we've got a new schedule this year, so to speak. The racing starting a bit earlier for 2021. We got the first race underway at 10:30 this morning. So if you're a regular follower of the Rich Energy British Mini Bikes Championship, to set your reminders for 10:30, because that's when we'll be starting. A bit more racing going on in the morning now. More of the qualifying taking place in the Saturday race schedule. Of course, these riders really do have a full weekend of it. There's the practice sessions on the Friday, qualifying through on the Saturday as well, culminating, of course, in these heat races and the finals later on in the respective groups. Riders pretty much ready. I think everyone's off the sighting lap safely now. And there we see the paddock side awnings for BR8 and the Michael Laverty BMB Academy with Vision Track, which we'll look at in a bit more detail as the year goes on, of course. The program in association with the famous Michael Laverty, of course, looking to help develop the next generation of rider as we wait for the flag to drop for our first race of the day for Mini GP and Junior Supermotos. Away they go. We'll try and pick up the splits in there as well for the two race classes as they charge into the first corner. One rider left on the line. Everyone else charging into that first corner. of course, in the Mini GP class, one or two of the Moto machines in there as well. So off they charge for the first time. Good, clean start. Everyone, apart from that rider that was left on the line, seems to have got away safely. Good, clean start. It looks like Harley McCabe getting a good jump on the field from Ruben Bray. Arnie Carr in there too. Zach Weston and Joel Grieg as they charge through the Simpson straight down towards the paddock corner. Yellow flags on the final corner. Looks like somebody has gone down on the exit of Paddock Bend. We'll try and pick up who that is in a moment, or it may well be the rider in trouble at the start, because the leaders have gone through all as they were on the first lap. Still Harley McCabe that leads the way, just ahead of Ruben Bray. Arnie Carr in third, Joel Grieg fourth, and fifth position is the 35 of Zach Weston, the first of our junior Supermoto machines. Here's Harley McCabe though, charging down into the S's, and this race, sponsored of course by Ugly & Co, starting to get a bit interesting at the front here as Ruben Bray keeps the pressure on the race leader. Plenty of action throughout the top 10. Harley McCabe just ahead of Ruben Bray, who sets the fastest lap of the race. Here they go into the first corner. Ruben Bray really keeping the pressure on McCabe at the front. And I'm sure that Harley McCabe knows that he's there, because he's covering those racing lines very well. Just trying to break away now as they make their way through to the left hand of the Warren that takes us onto the straight run. And this really tight S section, it's a classic left followed by right hairpin, very technical part along the back straight. Don't want to scrub off too much speed going into that corner. Make their way through to Paddock Bend using the curbs, using as much of the circuit as they can. Over the finish line they go. Still Harley McCabe that leads. McCabe this time setting the fastest lap of the race, 47.143. Ruben Bray in second. Arnie Carr third. Wilson Dilks is on the move, number 85, getting past Joel Grieg. Zach Weston, Payne, Wilkinson and Harvey Lathrop rounding out the top 10. First of our junior Supermotos is the 35 of Zach Weston. And Joel Grieg getting a shout out from Luke Hutchinson on social media, currently sitting in fifth position as Wilson Dilks still moves through the field. Action at the front here though, with Harley McCabe and Ruben Bray making their way past the tail ender. Down towards the final corner, Paddock Bend they go. And there we see it, that classic right and left section. It's important there to use as much of the curbs as possible. Carr there as well, Wilson Dilks, Joel Grieg. And we just saw the first of our Supermotos going through, the 35 of Zach Weston, Laken Payne, number 41 in there as well. There's the treble 2 of Harvey Lathrop, currently 9th on the track, second of the junior Supermotos. Cade Watt up to 10th place. And there we see the 477 of Cade Watt on the move, running one of the Moto machines. Looks like Brian Hamilton and Lewis Mullen just a little bit further behind. There's the number 19 of Hamilton, Mullen just on the tail as they make their way through to the 90-degree left-hander. There's the Warren onto the back straight, the faster part of the circuit coming up at the front. McCabe pulling away as the rest of the field make their way to the top of the circuit. There's Lathrop round the outside, number 11 now of Lewis Mullen. Going into the S's with Toby Skaman just a little bit further behind. Daniel Stevenson also in there too. At the front of the junior Supermotos, we still have Zach Weston, the rider, in 6th on your timing screen. Currently leading the JSM 140s, Harvey Lathrop second, 9th on the track. Third is Toby Skaman, currently in 13th position. From Daniel Stevenson, Bobby King, those two riders just behind 13th through to 15th, currently battling for position in junior Supermoto. You see the number 11. Looks like Mullen there just a bit further behind. 57 just having a peek down the inside. This S is left-hander, it starts quite quick. Tightens in on itself. we say, it's good line choice is important there, as the riders need to get the exit speed as well. Harley McCabe still your race leader and starting to pull the gap now to 2.6 seconds as we approach the halfway stage of this race. Still looking very competitive in the midfield. On there, just bulked by the back marker slightly and opens the line up there. Bobby King, Kobe Garrett's a bit further behind. Ryan Hamilton getting a shout out there, currently in 12th position. 5 laps to go in this first race of the day. Mini GP 140-50 riders having their first moto, and at the moment the 134 Toby Skayman has finally got past Daniel Stevenson. Bit of pressure coming up. Still very competitive, just on the edge of the top 10. We've seen the 477 of Cade Watt making his way through. Good, clean first half of the race, as that battle on the edge of the top 10 still charging away. Cade Watt up to 9th place as Harley McCabe crossing the line now. In the lead, there's the 12 of Ruben Bray. Just starting to make his way through some of the tail enders. Now with a clear track, the gap goes up to 2.7 seconds between the first 2 riders. We've got Arnie Carr and Wilson Dilks just a bit further behind. There's the 78, currently 17th position. It's Joshua Williams from Harry Pell, making their way down the back straight. Straight run into the S's. The tight left-hander there is the 25 of Kobe Garrett in there, currently 16th position. So some of the midfield riders having quite a close battle at the moment with 4 laps to go. 8 laps down and the race still charging away. Harley McCabe still your race leader, although Ruben Bray has closed the gap slightly to 1.8 seconds with 3 laps to go. So this first Mini GP and Junior Supermoto race for the day starting to settle down at the front. The top 2 really have broke away. Still we see the number 3 of Joel Grigg in 5th place leading the Junior Supermoto riders. As we look at the 78 of Joshua Williams still keeping the pressure on. Down the back straight they go. There's the 35 in there as well, Zach Weston going through into the S's. So 3 laps to go. Still plenty of action throughout the field. Some of the midfield runners pretty close as they make their way over the line. 1 or 2 riders falling back, but certainly good line etiquette, you would say, from the riders. The slow riders holding their line, letting the faster riders go through. As we see, just another move down the inside going into centre, that really tight left-hander. So as it stands at the moment, Harley McCabe still your race leader from Ruben Bray, Arnie Carr in 3rd, Wilson Dilks and Joel Grigg rounding out the top 5. Zach Weston in 6th place, still your lead of the Junior Supermoto. And a shout out for Ruben Bray on there as well. He's only 9 years old, and this is his 2nd season of racing, so only 2.3 seconds off the race leader. He's doing pretty well at the front. Kobe Garrett's a bit further down there, getting a shout out as well, currently in 16th position. Having a good battle as the riders make their way through onto the last lap. Checkered flag now been readied for our race leader, Harley McCabe, in great form, just starting his last lap. Still that battle in the top 10 though. It's pretty close with Arnie Carr, Wilson Dilks, Joel Grigg going through, still leading the Junior Supermotos by quite some margin. Harvey Lathrop in 10th is the 2nd place rider. Cade Watt and Luca Wilkinson a bit further back, rounding up the top 10. There's the 134 of Toby Skayman just going through the S's. 2nd part of the lap. Harley McCabe just crossing the line though and taking the checkered flag from Ruben Bray. It'll be Arnie Carr in 3rd position. Just a bit further back as some of the midfield runners make their way through. There we saw the battle with Toby Skayman and Daniel Stevenson. Skayman bringing it home in 13th, Bobby King in 15th position. Those riders a lap down, but having a fearsome midfield battle. There goes Arnie Carr in 3rd, Wilson Dilks coming through in 4th. Then it's Joel Grigg, any moment now, just a few seconds behind. And there's the winner of our Junior Supermoto. That was Zach Weston on the number 3, taking the checkered flag in the Junior Supermoto class. There's Harvey Lathrop second in that class, just behind Cade Watt, one of our mini GP riders. Great to see so many riders on the grid in this youth class. Big numbers for this round here at Redlodge, drawing to a close. So from youth we move to experience. Our next race of the day is the Motus Oils Vets, and they'll be underway in just a few moments. Mini GP and Junior Supermoto 140 and 50cc machines making their way down to the waiting zone, and those youth riders out on track in just a few moments' time. We'll have a look at how they line up. Harley McCabe in first position from Ruben Bray, Arnie Carr in third, Wilson Dilks in fourth, Joel Gregg and Zach Weston taking us down to sixth position. Seventh for Laken Payne, eighth is Cade Watt, ninth are Harvey Lathrop, Luca Wilkinson running up the top 10 from Lewis Mullen, and Brian Hamilton in 12th place. 13th for Toby Skaman, Daniel Stevenson, Bobby King, Kobe Garbutt, Joshua Williams and Harry Pell in 18th place. 19th for Tayo Collymore, Ruby Booth in 20th, George Bartle 21st from George Wood, Craig Dance and Joe Mostica in 24th place. Jack Newton, we believe, is not starting the race, so it looks like it's going to be a 24 rider grid as they make their way through onto the sighting lap in association, of course, with Ugly & Co. Riders making their way back to the track. Got two classes in one here, of course. We've got the Mini GP and the Supermoto machines out there. It's very much a youth class. Making their way around the course now for the sighting lap. This Redlodge Circuit, great venue for this second round of the championship, and a very different challenge, you would say, of course. We go to the faster circuits like Three Sisters and Wilton Mill has its moments as well, of course, especially on the full international layout. This is something a bit different. It's 1,100 metres, so it's a fairly long course, just over 1k long, but really has got some very tight technical parts of the track as well. So as we've seen plenty of times today, plenty of opportunities for overtaking as well. Shout out, of course, to the team at Alpha Live for all their hard work today, and the show produced today by James Fitchew, who wants to put a shout out to his partner Naomi Watts, who I'm sure is watching the action this afternoon. This is what he gets up to on Sundays. So thanks to James Fitchew and all the Alpha Live crew for all their hard work this afternoon as we go back on track. And so Harley McCabe just getting a few final checks. The pickup marshal's being told to clear the grid as we wait for the start. Flag is about to drop, and the Ugly & Co. gets underway. Harley McCabe with a difficult start there, the machine rearing away as they go down to the first corner. It looks like he's held on to the lead. Ruben Bray second, and looks like Bray has taken the lead as they make their way through to 180. Arnie Carr, Wilson Dilks, Joel Gregg, Zach Weston, I should say, first of the Junior Supermotos machines. Shout out to Brian Hamilton in this race. And much like Jack, getting used to the new bike for this year, so thanks for Colin McCann for getting in touch. Don't forget to give your riders a shout out on the YouTube channel if you're watching this event. As we focus on this close battle at the front, there's one of the Vision Track MLab Academy riders in second place, Harley McCabe, starting to close up on Ruben Bray, who got the lead early on. And of course, Ruben Bray has his own track in front of him, looking to use his own lines here, trying to shake McCabe off. These two pulling away slightly from Wilson Dilks in third place. So Dilks a bit further adrift, about 2 seconds adrift now in third. As McCabe starts to put the pressure on, has a little dive down the inside, has a little peak going into the S's, but Bray's got the line covered. Oh, he just seemed to lose a bit of traction there, though, Ruben Bray, the leader. Hasn't affected him too much, though. He holds on to the lead. McCabe tries to fight back as they make their way down towards the final corner. They go through Paddock Bend. And McCabe again just having a look down the inside, but Bray's got some nice lines going on here. Harley McCabe with the fastest lap of the race, 47.363. Wilson Dilks, Arnie Carr, Joel Grigg in 5th. Zach Weston in 6th on your screen there, the first of the junior supermoto riders. Laken Payne, Cade Watt and Luca Wilkinson rounding out the top 10 from Lewis Mullen in 10th. Brian Hamilton in 11th place at the moment on the number 19. And Harvey Lathrop in 12th is the second, I should say, of the junior supermotos. Craig Dance and Daniel Stevenson a bit further behind. But at the moment, our attention focused on this thrilling battle for the leaders. Harley McCabe goes down the inside on Simpson straight. And that really took some commitment there. It's a difficult place to make the move stick. We saw, of course, Reece Stevenson had trouble there earlier on today. But, oh, down the inside goes Ruben Bray. He fights right back. He's not giving this lead up lightly. And Ruben Bray back into the lead. McCabe's got to fight back now. So perhaps McCabe wasn't expecting him to be down the inside. We went through into Senna. The opening was there on the inside, and Ruben Bray back into the lead, but McCabe's fighting back down the inside into the S's. Oh, he tried to go down the inside, didn't quite come off. Let's see if he can fight back where he made the move last time down Simpson Straight. It's all about the exit speed here. Harley McCabe quick out of the corner, fighting back again. Ruben Bray parks that bike on the inside. One of the lappers in front. They cut to the inside, lap that rider over the line. I think that's Joe Mostica possibly. It's just been lapped. Ruben Bray guards that inside line. Rider in trouble on the first corner. It appears to be okay though. Race goes on. 5 seconds the gap between first and third place. Wilson Dilks at the moment a distant third. Just goes to show how much these two leaders are pushing each other on. Arnie Carr still in 4th place. Zach Weston, Joel Grigg. As McCabe tries the outside this time into the S's. He's going to stay wide, I think. Cuts in slightly. Now he's going to try and get the sweep on the exit, one would suspect. He's sitting close behind Ruben Bray, though. Trying to get that exit speed down the inside again. He goes, and McCabe back into the lead. Back marker in front, though. That's the number 93, George Wood in 21st. Holds his line. The leaders get through. Good riding there from the 93s. Bray again looks, oh, it was close there from Ruben Bray. Just caught the back wheel of McCabe. Could so easily have come off the machine there, but held his nerve. Another one of the lappers in front. That's the 21 of George Bartle running in the junior supermoto class. A little bit further behind. McCabe this time I think has made the move stick though and starts to pull away. Takes a nice sweeping line into the S's. He knows he's got a small gap and just can afford to run his own lines a bit. Now the question is here, what can Ruben Bray do in second? He's lost a little bit of time to the race leader Harley McCabe, who pulls away. Ruben Bray still very much within striking. Oh, that's Zach Weston there, just noticed in the pits. Zach Weston, who was leading the junior supermoto class in the top 10, in the pits with some sort of mechanical issue, one would speculate, and Zach Weston tumbling down the field. He's going to try and get back underway. That means that further down the field, will be the 10th place rider, I should say. Harvey Lathrop, who's just crossed the line, will lead the junior supermotos. Daniel Stevenson second in that group. Bobby King third. Ruby Booth in 4th, who I think is the last rider on the lead lap. But still Harley McCabe charging along down towards the final corner. There goes Kobe Garrett in 15th place, number 25, number 52, sorry, the machine of Harry Pell, just been lapped by the two leaders. Harley McCabe with the fastest lap of the race, 46.587. Ruben Bray only a few tenths down. Oh, he's got caught behind the tail end though. It's a bad place to encounter traffic there. There's not many overtaking opportunities, but now gets through. So gets past the machine of Kobe Garbutt, currently in 15th place. And that's just a bit of bad luck there for Ruben Bray. Just got caught behind the slow rider at a bad part of the track to encounter a difficult part of the course to make a move, you would say. And that small advantage may just have allowed Harley McCabe to pull away. He's put another good lap in, 46.462. So Harley McCabe has put a quick lap in there, and that's just enough to pull a small gap. Ruben Bray 1.3 seconds down in second. Incredibly, the pace of these two riders. Wilson Dilks in third is 12 seconds adrift, just going to show the pace of this race. It's getting quicker as the race goes on. Arnie Carr, Cade Watt, Joel Grigg in 6th. Lewis Mullins got through to 7th position. Luca Wilkinson in 8th as Laken Payne drops down to 9th. Harvey Lathrope's just crossed the line in 10th. First of the junior supermotos now that Zach Weston has seemingly dropped out of contention. The leaders fighting their way through the traffic now, well and truly into the midfield runners here. These two at the front really pushing along and maintaining a good pace. There's the race leader, Harley McCabe, still lapping strongly, 47 seconds that time round. Pulling away slightly, 2.3 seconds the gap between first and second. But be under no illusions that this race is over. Harley McCabe, 3 laps to go, has still got some work to do. All it would take here would be just to get caught behind the back marker or make a small mistake, and Ruben Bray will be right in there. That's the 1:34. Try and pick that rider up on the timing charts in a few moments. About to be lapped by the leader, and there McCabe just neatly cuts down the inside out of the corner, doesn't lose much time. Into the final corner. 2 laps to go for the race leader, Harley McCabe. I think that was Bobby King who he just lapped. So Bobby King, as Ruben Bray laps him as well. He's currently 13th on the track and 2nd of the junior supermotos. Wilson Dilks in 3rd, Arnie Carr 4th, Cade Watt just ahead of Joel Grigg, Lewis Mullen, Luca Wilkinson, Laken Payne and Harvey Lathrope rounding up the top 10, and Lathrope the first of the junior supermoto 140s. As McCabe charges on, picking his way through the traffic. This, of course, part of the skill of leading the race. Getting through the slow riders quickly and efficiently. Ruben Bray still hanging on in there in 2nd place. 2 laps to go. Harley McCabe leads. He's got the 78 just in front. That's the 12th position. Joshua Williams around the outside, and there's the 21. George Bartle goes 2 laps down, and Bartle in 19th place in the junior supermoto class. Last lap, and Harley McCabe's done all the hard work now. He's just got to try and bring it home. He's got a 1.6 second gap. He can't afford to relax too much though, because Bray's still hanging on in there. McCabe controlling the race through the S's for the final time. Down they come towards the finish line. There's the number 19 just ahead of Craig Dance, currently in 18th position. Round the final corner they go. There's Bray still trying to keep up, but it looks like Harley McCabe takes the checkered flag. It was a very close race there, but McCabe's done enough to hold on to the win. It's Ruben Bray in 2nd, and those two really pushing each other along in the closing stages as Williams goes through. Dance and Bartle, we're waiting now for Wilson Dilks in 3rd. There he goes, 85 Wilson Dilks, 17 seconds adrift, just going to show what a pace those two leaders were running. Arnie Carr just closely behind in 4th place, should be Cade Watt very shortly in 5th, and there he goes. Oh, and look at that to the line there. Mullen in 6th, Wilkinson 7th, Laken Payne in 8th, Joel Grigg a bit unlucky on that final lap to drop to 9th, and Harvey Lathrope's just gone through in 10th place and will win the junior supermoto 140 class. So very closely fought race there. We move on to our next race of the day in just a few moments. Stay tuned for the Motor Soils Vets, and they'll be underway in just a few moments.